Hello, you are listening to Everyday Superpower, a place where we talk body language, verbal communication, human dynamics, relationships, game. You know what it is by now, everything in between. There's two links. Pardon me, dear me. Got a little bit of a cough, people, so please have some patience. Two links down in the description of the video. One of them will link to a playlist I've composed of my own body language material. Covers the A to Z of how to read people through their own subconscious behaviours. Okay, you learn how to read minds by going through that material. Second to that is the Patreon. On the Patreon, you'll be able to watch me assess and analyse and give you the real game on how to perceive attraction and repulsion cues. Okay, you'll be able to internalise that and you won't get that information anywhere else. You'll become Casanova, promised. Now, moving onwards, the topic of today is hugs. Okay, generally speaking, I talk to men, but this will apply to women as well. If by any chance you are a woman listening to this, I'm going to talk about hugging someone and as to whether they are, actually attracted to you sexually. If not attracted to the hug, comfortable within the hug, comfortable in the embrace. All right. So first and foremost, it might not necessarily be because of you, if we were to speak in a non-sexual nature, and I say that because you might be hugging a family member, a friend, or so forth, and there still will be a little bit of a knock-on effect with the information I'm going to provide today. So I'm going to go through two particular. Well, no, let's call it three. You know what? I'll throw a third in for you. Three things to pay attention to, right? Now, first and foremost is the tap, all right? We all know, and we've all experienced, and we've all seen people embrace in a hug, and one taps or pats the other on the back, okay? That's symbolic of saying, let go, let loose. Like somebody who is in a mixed martial arts competition, the other one forces them to submit, they'll tap out, right? They'll tap on the back to say, I've had enough, get off, blah, blah, blah. Because the connection, the palm, which is incredibly honest, the palms of the hand are more honest than the upper of the palm, the upper of the hand. When the palm is connected to the body, it creates this airtight seal as to where the people are in full embrace. The hand is in possession of the body. We have them close, right? The moment the hand starts disconnecting and clearly speaking that there is a disconnect, an emphasizing of such by the repetitive tapping on the back, that means that the individual wants to connect. They've had enough. And you might experience this just from the moment it connects, all right? I mean, a hug has been given, but there's no need for it to be for too long, all right? For example, me and my granddad does this to me. I'll give him a hug for the sake of it, but we're two grown men. We don't necessarily feel too comfortable doing it. That's just the way we are, all right? So I'll do it out of kindness and connection and love, and he'll tap out of it from the get-go. No offense taken. That is what it is, all right? So please take it with a pinch of salt, all right? There's always more than one perspective and, area for you to perceive, so you don't really need to take it to heart, all right? Now, that being said, if you are to be in embrace with a woman you find attractive and you get the same behavior, maybe she's not too comfortable in that embrace, all right? So take that as a bit of a food for thought, and also understand, when does this initially happen? Maybe you've just outstayed your welcome. Maybe you've been there hugging each other for the best part of 10-20 seconds, and she's saying, okay, it's time to go, all right? Such as when somebody wants to leave a room and they're sitting down, they will clasp their knees, won't they? They'll go, right, and they'll slap their hands on their knees in order to push themselves up and leave the room, right? Same equivalent. Let's move onwards. Let's have a look at the hips, okay? So this is more, we're going to take this outside of the realm of friendship and family. We're going to look at attraction now. How close are the hips together? Because the hips house the genital area, and given that the two are coming together, do their hips stay outwards distant, not necessarily in a repulsive manner, although quite possibly they could move back more so than they were initially, but are they in close vicinity, if not touching with your hips? Okay, pay attention to that, because the closer you are on the lower level, the more sexualized that connection is, all right? The more attraction is a thing on a sexual perspective. Sorry, for lack of a better word, right? So pay attention to that. That's important. Where the hip is, and you can apply this to many different, body language, behaviors, and characteristics in correlation with yourself. Where do the hips lay? And now let's go on to the third, which I didn't initially feel I was going to reference, but makes sense. Body blading. Are they direct in front of you? Are they completely facing you? Are they ajar? What direction are they facing? Are they on a bit of a swivel? Are they slanted a little bit towards one direction or the other? Or are they completely direct? And that also applies in some sort of mathematical degree with the connection of the hips. So the hips might be connecting, but maybe not in a direct manner as to where the genitals are facing towards each other, okay? So there might be a physical connection down below, but there still is work to be done for that subconscious comfort of the connection of the genitals to be engaged. And you might be thinking to yourself, why are you thinking so deep? It's only a hug, it's only a hug. Right, well, you must be new to this channel, because we look at things as they are in real time. We look at the behaviours of individuals and recognise the patterns, such as them hips can touch. It's just as easy as a person to not touch them. We don't attract. We are not magnetised to that which we are repulsed by, right? Our brain isn't going to signal that which we don't want. It's going to be of complete counterproductive. To put a long story short, it's just going to be counterproductive for us. Okay, we don't waste time. The woman in particular is not going to waste time going out of her way subconsciously signaling sexual attraction when that's not what she's wanting to attract. You need to read between the lines and see what her body, because consciously she might comfortably try to put on a front in order to establish some degree of power over you, or establish a relationship and sort of work within the perimeters of you being attracted to her, but she sort of puts a front on. You have to look at these subconscious behaviours as a whole and as a cluster to understand that, well, you just have to look at the reality, alright? So to anybody thinking we're looking too deep into this, this is the reality. As far as the pattern on the back is concerned, you've experienced that before, you've seen that before. Doesn't it make sense? Even if you don't believe in my reasoning, the means to an end of disconnecting the hug, it makes sense. You know it makes sense, and when you experience it yourself, you'll know it makes sense. It's a signal of discomfort. So if I'm right in that department, why would I not be right as far as the proximity of the hips? Okay? My hand isn't going to be on your behind, staying there, with you allowing it and me actioning it, unless we had some sort of sexual connection and understanding with each other, right? And if you were uncomfortable by that behaviour of mine, there would be a disconnect, and it would be a repulsive behaviour. So there is always a cause and effect, and there is always an intention behind the actions we have. There is always a relationship in our non-verbal communication towards each other, consciously or subconsciously. So just to recap, the arms embrace around the other person. Does the other person tap on your back to say, let me go, I'm tapping out, you've put me into a submission, I want to go? Are the hips connected? And if they are doing so, and if the body is an embrace, is there a body blade? And that blade is a word we use in regards to the direction the body is facing in correlation to each other. Are they direct 0%, or are they slanted at a particular angle? And that angle is representative as to how attracted they are at that moment in time, how much they want to give away. Because of course there's varying degrees to how that blade is going to be actioned. If that was interesting or gave you food for thought, or if you have anything to say, please do so. Click like and subscribe. I'm signing out.